Hey guys, Brian with Buffalo Beer Reviews. We're not really going to take a look at a beer per se today, but we're going to take a look at something that I bought for the house 2 years ago. This is the second fall season I've been able to use it. Something that I was kind of able to find a couple of older videos on, and I wanted to show any potential homeowners, land owners, in case they were looking for something. But I'm going to take a look at our leaf sweeper, our yard sweeper, whichever one you want to call it. Got the tractor and I've got the yard sweeper here. It's great. It's a tow behind, and if you can see in here, as you tow it, it spins these brushes up, and the leaves shoot out here, and they get caught into the hopper, right? And then when you get to your destination, you know, a pile of leaves or the fire pit or whatnot, you can reach it from the seat. You can reach back, and you can just deposit it where you need. Usually, what I'll do is I'll drop it like that, and I'll lift the back of it way up in the air, and I'll drive forward a little bit, give it a shake, deposit all of the leaves where I need to be. Boom, it gets deposited back into its little slot, and it's ready to go. It's always on. It's just it's generated by the driving forward motion of the tractor, so there's no real moving parts, or there's no engine or motor. It's just the brush is propelled by the forward motion of the tractor. It's awesome. I'll tell you a couple of things I like about it and don't like about it, and then I'm going to get this thing kind of in motion and do a little demo. Some of the things I don't like about it before, I think I'll end on what I like, but some of the things I don't like about it: the setup process, the put together, the installation of this thing was lengthy. This was something that took me, I think, maybe about 45 minutes to an hour. It was a lengthy sort of instruction manual, and I forgot how many pages it was, but it was. It is kind of bulky. There are considerations that you're going to have to take in before you or after you get one. Where you're going to store it, do you have enough room for it, without having to take it apart and kind of disassemble it to a certain extent. Right now, with the way with my system is, I'll flip the camera back around here. For the winter, I pretty much dismantled this bar that hooks to the tractor. I dismantle that, and then I take this off, both here and here, and I'll show you. This is part of my pros. This is really easy to take off and stuff like that. So I take this off. This hopper unit becomes one separate unit from the metal part, and then these come off very easily with just two little link pins in here. And then I'm able to just store this. This breaks down flat. I can store that in the upper part of the shed, and that's that. So it is kind of bulky. It does take a little bit of planning and consideration to figure out where you're going to store this thing, either during the spring or the summer. If you're not going to use it for grass clippings, and you're only going to really use it for the fall and the leaf collection, now what are you going to do with it for, 10 out of the 12 months, whatnot? It was a little bit on the pricey side. I couldn't really tell you off the top of my head how much it was. I want to say it was around $300. Sounds like a really stiff cost up front, but when you consider really the time and the energy and the effort that you're going to save over the next following fall seasons, really the price is irrelevant to me. It has been an awesome tool. Sometimes the wheels get stuck. You can kind of see the clearance on the corner here. It might only be not even 3 fingers. Sometimes these corners kind of get stuck on uneven ground in my neck of the woods and the wheels won't move. That is a consideration. It's not a deal breaker. It's just something that I kind of, as I'm driving, I will kind of keep peeking back to make sure that everything's getting thrown into the leaf sweeper, yard sweeper. Some of the things I like about it, it works. That's first and foremost. It works awesomely. I was super skeptical when I first put it together. I'm like, no way. I saw a couple other videos and they seem to work, but I was still skeptical. You know, we have tons and tons of trees around here. I have just shy of 3 acres and they're all elm and they're all maple, and they just drop stuff all over the place, and it picks it up, and it cut my leaf collection time down from like 2 weeks down to like 4 days. And 4 days with this is not back-breaking labor. This is 4 days of riding on a tractor and letting the leaf sweeper do its own work, and then you're just pulling the handle to deposit the leaves at the fire pit. It was awesome. What else? It's easy to disassemble. As much of it as it detracts that there are a lot of little pins and cotter pins and hardware that you have to keep track of, it does disassemble quite easily. Like I said, it's kind of hard to do it, but just take that off for a second. These just push down, and that's the safety mechanism for the hopper, and that just comes right off. Boom, just pulls out. So then this whole thing just comes right off. See? Let me see if I can do the other side. Even one-handed. This whole thing comes down, pretty much breaks down flat. So you can put that wherever you'd like, stand it upright, and then you've got this sort of unit. And like I said, these cotter pins come out, and these things I just fold them into itself. So it really is a not as bulky of a unit to have to store in your shed after that. And that's just as easy to load back up. Even one-handed, I was able to take this off and flatten it out. You can kind of get a better look into the inside workings and the brushes and stuff. Really cool. Oh, there's a little adjustment as to how high up you want the brushes off the grass, or lower to the grass, whichever you'd like. That was really cool. I have found that this unit does work well if you have shorter grass. I feel like the shorter grass doesn't kind of capture the leaves as effectively, and it's easier for the leaf sweeper to brush it up into the hopper. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really in for endorsing anything that really doesn't work, but this thing has made my life extremely easy over the last 2 years. And you would know the first year that I had this, well, it rained for 2 straight weeks. I wasn't able to burn the leaves, so I had to kind of find an area in the woods to kind of deposit it. This year has been a little bit drier, and the only problem that I've had is that I wasn't able to burn through the leaves as fast as we were collecting them with this leaf sweeper. That was my only problem. It was awesome. So I'm going to grab one of my other sons here, and he's going to be my cameraman, and I'm going to get this thing fired up, and I'm going to kind of show you how effectively this thing picks up the leaves, and kind of how I do it with the fire pit, dropping it off and all that other good stuff. Despite how well the unit works, there are, one of the other things I forgot to tell you about, it doesn't really corner so well. It's a little bit longer, it's a little bit rigid of an arm, tow bar. So it doesn't really corner around trees very well if you live on a piece of land like mine. And we have, you know, maple, elm, you know, maple, another large maple, some maple and some ash that are dead. If you're trying to go around a lot of different trees, it can be a little bit of a headache. You're still going to need a leaf blower. So what I do is I'll take the leaf blower and I'll blow the leaves out either from the garden, and you can already see I already have it ready to go. I'll blow the leaves from the garden and the house, and I'll try to blow it all out into a line like this, so that when I get the tractor going, I can just boom up one line and take care of a majority of the leaves without having to go in a tree, out a tree, and stuff like that. But you can see I did that about 3 hours ago. You can already see all of the leaves that have come down. But it's not a big deal. Just fire up the tractor and take the thing out for another drive. Do you know what I mean? Mr. Stan the Man's there. So I do like that. You're still gonna need your leaf blower. You're still gonna need a rake. This is not gonna be a 100%, you know, leaf-free yard when you're done, but neither is raking or leaf blowing. But you will get 97% of the leaves off of your yard with very minimal effort. So I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm gonna grab this tractor. I'm gonna get fired up. You can see the line of where I just collected the grass. Let's see if you can see it hopping into the hopper. There's the yard. What do you think? Not bad. You can see the other piles of leaves that I've deposited from the other bags, the other hopper bags. I'll stop here. I'll stop here at the fire pit. Will this? Give a shake, drive forward a little bit. Give it a shake. All right. I mean, that's about as easy as it gets. It's hopping on the tractor with your leaf sweeper. It doesn't matter how many leaves are in the front yard. Take a couple of passes, drop them off at the fire pit, rake them onto the fire. You know, fortunately for me, where I live, we can do burning and stuff like that. So it would be heartbreaking to have to bag probably 100 bags of leaves every year. That would be a no-go. I'd rather just hire somebody. But this is a pretty easy alternative. That's it for me, guys. Got a couple more passes to take with this thing, and hopefully tomorrow most of the leaves will be down and out, and I can kind of wash the tractor and put it away. So I really appreciate the clicks and the watches, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.